Guys, and welcome to Get Rich Slow. Today we are going to be looking at how to vibe code a whole application. So vibe coding is massive right now. It's basically using ChatGPT or any other AI platform to help you code something. And in this case, I'm using it with very little knowledge about development to build an entire application. I'm going to take you guys through the whole process I'm going to go through. I'm going to take you through the pain points, all the dirty laundry of how I've done it, and give you a good understanding of what good prompts are, what bad prompts are, and start from completely from scratch. So what I'm going to be doing is building an application that crawls supplier websites, grabs the stock, grabs the products, creates descriptions, and uploads them into the back of my website. So as you can see here, this is my very first prompt that I've added into ChatGPT, saying, hey, I want your help in architecting the system. The system will crawl supplier websites, identify new products, list new products on our WordPress website, given the domain, correct product details like description, pricing, the margin, the photos, the brands, the categories, etc. And I'm sure it will help me with all those details. Grab the stock level on the supplier site and adjust it on our website. So if the product is out of stock, then it will update on our website. Basically, we with our business, we backstock or shadow stock a lot of products. And what's been happening is, by the time someone buys them, they're quite kind of niche products. So if someone buys them, I then have to go to the supplier, and sometimes when I go back to the supplier to get the product, to get it sent over to the customer, it's out of stock, and then I end up having to refund the customer. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but actually I have to pay Stripe or PayPal for the privilege of being paid and then refunding, which is, basically they keep their fee now, which is a bit stingy of PayPal and Stripe, but it's legal now, so they're able to do it. And then I've also paid for the customer to get to the website, and because we're using product-based PPC, the cost is already incurred, and it costs around £10 for me to get someone to the site. So probably looking for a product that's about 400 quid, let's say, I pay probably £30 for the privilege of them having to cancel the order and refund the customer. So it massively affects the business, and hopefully this whole system will make that process a lot more efficient. And even off the back of it, we can set up auto back orders. So I'm sure the system will help me. ChatGPT can help me build a system that will solve the ordering process as well, and make that a lot more refined. So yeah, I've described what I want, and then I described the facilities that I have, in that I have an application server in Plesk. Plesk is like cPanel, for those of you that don't know. So it's a way of managing your Linux-based web server, manages Apache, manages Nginx, all of that stuff sits within Plesk, just like cPanel. cPanel is a lot more common. If you've ever run a website in GoDaddy or in Ionos or any of the other big hosts, you might be familiar with these options. Now, when you're setting up a website, you can go in GoDaddy, for example, you can go for a hosted option, which they'd sort out the technicalities, or you manage the server yourself with cPanel, or if you're in Ionos, you manage it in Plesk. So I'm managing in Ionos with Plesk. So I've kind of explained that. We also have the ability in the Plesk server to add a Docker container that can contain the application. So if you don't know these terms, definitely go and Google them and try and understand what they do. It's valuable to know what these things are. Basically what I'm saying is go for the self-managed option, because it'll allow you to build applications outside of your website for this type of automation. And yeah, I have the ability within the server to set up my own databases, whatever that needs to look like. So I'm giving it all the possibilities of what I have and what I know. And it's done a great job, to be fair. It's come back with a really good answer of how to logically piece together this application. So it's talking about components, so a crawler for each supplier website. So obviously the markup and the websites all look different. So it's suggesting using Playwright and Selenium for my web crawling capability. Playwright and Selenium basically plug into your Chrome browser, and it's kind of an intermediary between Python and your browser. So it allows Python to browse the web essentially and grab data. So good suggestions there. It kind of suggests files that I'm going to need. So supplier main script that runs the crawl, parsers to normalize the data, a configurator to basically say the elements in the page that I want to grab equal these columns in my database. A staging database, so this is going to be like a place where we can write the data into. Instead of holding it in memory, we can write it into an intermediary database. And then there's a product sync engine, which is probably going to, again, I don't know if that will be a separate database or it will go to WordPress and go, do these products exist? If they don't exist, we're going to make this a create row. And if it is an update, then we're going to make it an update row. And then it's saying then we need a WooCommerce API publisher. So that API publisher will go through the amends that need to be made to the products and push those products into the back of the website and update the products that already exist. So, for example, it'll remove something from stock if it's gone out of stock on the supplier website. So this is exactly what we need. It's recommending a Docker structure, really helpful. So this is a file that you can go into Docker and just say, this is my file structure, and it'll go and create that for you. It's talking about authentication. It talks about development tips. It mentioned that Plesk has a vault for secrets. So this is the passwords for the back end of the website, the passwords potentially for the supplier websites. Anything that I need to keep a secret can be in one place. I didn't know that, so really helpful to know. It's all just accelerated learning, really, using ChatGPT. It talks about enhancements that it can make in a future date. I then asked it to draw a diagram, and to be honest, the diagram kind of sucks. It's drawn the Plesk container that hosts the website, which is correct, but then it's put the product sync engine in Docker, and then these don't sit in Docker. That's not true. I mean, it's all going to be inside Docker, and in fact, Docker belongs over here and product sync belongs over here, and then you'd have Docker around. So it understands the concepts, but the diagram just sucks, and it's definitely not how I would conceptualize it. But I think it gets the idea. And then I've asked. I tried to correct it and just go, are you sure everything isn't in Docker? But it kind of ignored me and just said yes. Ignored the fact that I'm trying to critique the diagram, but whatever, it's just a diagram, so it's all good. It's giving me a composer. And then I asked for the order. What order should I tackle development in? And it's come up with a reasonable order as well. So it's kind of saying create your data model first, then build one crawler. So what it's trying to get me to do is do a thin slice. So end-to-end delivery of the value of the application, right? It's trying to get me to go all the way through with one supplier's set of data before I then go and write a secondary crawler for another supplier, which totally makes sense. Definitely, when you're building an application, you kind of want to go end to end. When you build a website, you want to go, okay, can we take orders? You want to go, show products, add to basket, create orders. Can you do that as quickly as possible just for one product? Can you make it work? And then you load up all the rest of your products into your website. So you know that you're not uploading all of your products into a website that won't work. So this totally makes sense in terms of the order that it's suggested. So super happy with that. Build product sync engine, build the WooCommerce publisher, automating schedules, so cron jobs within Plesk, and then expand to additional suppliers. It's given me a checklist, which is kind of nice. So guys, if you're interested in vibe coding and learning how to vibe code, the types of questions that I ask of ChatGPT to build this whole application, please follow along, like and subscribe or whatever. This is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I'll probably add some shorts on LinkedIn to seed it. But yeah, if you're interested in vibe coding and learning more about vibe coding, really the world is your oyster. If you're slightly technical or you're good at asking questions, then you can build an application too. So definitely encourage anyone to join, follow along, and understand how easy it's becoming to become a developer in 2025.